of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall facilitate that. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. I must admit I first had doubts, due to your association with a cultist. But yes, you've earned not only my trust, but the Order's as well. I hope you'll continue working with us. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
Good to see you again. I had hoped we could speak earlier, but no matter. A little time remains. You are a crucial variable in the solution to a critical problem. Since the unfortunate end of the peace talks, Gertie and I have kept in communication, and we believe it is still possible to get the Order and Auntie's Choice to work together. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us, for Arcadia. For one, having the allied might of their forces at your back when facing down the Protectorate. If that's not sufficient, perhaps some additional incentive could also be provided. And if you might consider an appeal to your better nature, ending the conflict between Auntie's Choice and the Order would have untold benefits for all Arcadia. Farewell. I would say good luck, but I put no stock in chance, only probability. May the plan favor us against long odds.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now, with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. As I told you in my message, a splinter group was responsible for recruiting your fellow agent and tasking her to perpetrate that heresy. The conviction of those radicals was such that they elected to perish from exposure to Cloister's wilderness to avoid fouling their predictions and my interference. Their interpretation of the data was at odds with mine. I forbade them taking action, to no avail, obviously. I disavowed their actions then, as I do now.
That sure will be some comfort the next time one of my stumps seizes up.
This kind of collateral damage is precisely what I was hoping to avoid. But that is the past. We must look toward the future now. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. My sensory deprivation chamber. I spend the majority of my days closed inside the silence, dulling myself against the tedious excesses of the body and mind. It's a rather personal apparatus, customized to my biological measurements. Would you ask to try on a stranger's undersuit? Perhaps you would. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not be speaking right now. Accept the credit. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I'm confident that Vicar Levin played a part as well, but you can negotiate the credit with him at a later date. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like Auntie's Choice. Why should the Order agree to even entertain the possibility? Yes, perhaps this is a fine opportunity to curve Death's grim median. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your arrival there to mediate.
Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business. There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to... Oh, yes. Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail. This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better. If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed. I suppose you've passed muster. Certainly not averse to getting your hands dirty. But the give and take of deal-making is another matter entirely. From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology. Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's Choice. What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop. I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question. I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part. I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal. That is a compelling vision of the future. One I could perhaps support. Involving money in science seems questionable. But having access to Auntie's resources would be useful for our research. Fine. Yes, I agree. Reluctantly. Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's Choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined. On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores. No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all. Where Auntie's Choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience. So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous, and a waste of a perfectly good monopoly. We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity. That assumes Auntie's Choice would even abide by such a list of restrictions, and which would almost be impossible for the Order to enforce. Not Not to worry. We can build a regulatory commission to oversee production and make sure everything is up to Auntie's choice and order standards. Oh, partiality concerns are a thing of the past. Obviously, regulators would be incentivized to care most about the safety of the consumer. You know, right after production costs.
As would the likelihood that we will eventually improve upon it. We shall allow Auntie's control of the current design. There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner. A 50-50 split? But that's so equal. Goodwill rarely converts well into bits, but I suppose I do take your point. If Ruth's open to it, I believe I can agree on the general terms here. And, well, we can haggle over minor quibbling details like percentages later.
I shall look forward to brokering the math with you, Cleo. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's choice.
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it. No, it is most certainly not. But if humanity only pursued the safe course, we would still be subsisting in caves rather than thriving amongst the stars. Being first inherently comes with risk, but better that I should undertake this endeavor than ask another to do so on my behalf. I am singularly positioned for the task.
And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. Ah, well, Ruth, if worst comes to worst, I'd be happy to serve as a substitute teacher for the Order.
A generous offer, but I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. You sound just like Laureate Beckett. I'm weary of having this debate, especially as I can never seem to win it. Very well. Never mind about the chemicals. Now is not the time for risky experimentation at any rate.
Oh, bother. Here I wanted to see Ruth lobotomize herself. Oh, well. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself.
One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the Archive to consider.
We'll of course provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Toodaloo!
Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought. First, we must reclaim Spireton from the enemy. Spireton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the Archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the Archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the Archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. Ordinarily, I do not fancy surprises, but you are proving an exception to that rule. With such a device in hand, bypassing the rift should be as rudimentary as pie. And perhaps at some later date, you will also permit our scientists to analyze this gadget at length in one of our labs, provided all goes according to plan. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the Archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the Archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more. Until the Order has control over the Archive again, this discussion is all but moot. You know what must be done. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Can't believe I just watched peace made between the Order and Auntie's choice. Seems like a dream I'd have after eating too many woolly curds.
It defies belief you negotiated a partnership between Auntie's choice and my colleagues. I've no faith in my predictions now. True, true. But that doesn't mean I have to like it. May the plan favor us against...
When I first got assigned to your team, I was beside myself with excitement. Since then, you've really proven yourself every bit of the legend I hoped you would be. I've come to respect you, Commander. Not just as a leader, but as as a friend, too. I'm glad to hear it. Would have had some real grease on my face if you didn't. It was just me and Val for so long. I kind of forgot what it was like having someone else I could rely on. It's been real nice having you at my side. Not to get too maudlin, but I'm used to losing the people who mean the most to me. I just want you to know I'm not gonna let that happen this time. It's a deal then. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. This can be a thankless job sometimes. Didn't want you going a day longer without knowing how much you mean to me. And to Val, too. Sure, always happy to tour.
We've successfully co-opted yet another of our rivals. Can't believe those eggheads accepted the deal. What's next on my agenda?
That outside contractor is here. You requested a brief tete-a-tete.
Ah, there you are. Our fresh-faced new go-getter. We meet in the flesh at last. You've proved quite useful. Keep it up. You'll be going places. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach regarding me having no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants. And covered in detail buried within the confidentiality clause you agreed to on arrival. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes? Fortunately, when you're the head of an advanced medical technology corporation, you become first in line for any experimental life-preserving procedures. As far as what happened, I was the victim of an unfortunate industrial accident shortly after we arrived here, the details of which are less salient than the details of what comes next.
Not exactly. Well, exactly. But not in the way you think. We have a mission for you that is vital to Auntie's Choice's survival.
We've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body. I'll have you know, we at Auntie's Choice are far from blood simple. Where's the profit in killing all your enemies when you can co-opt and sell goods to them later? Ah, tut-tut. No, to find me the perfect body, you'll be assailing an inappreciably populated automated automech factory over on Praetor. Not just any automechanical, something much, much more exciting. That facility was designed to build complex automechs, a natural choice when the Protectorate began experimenting with a proxy body for the original Sovereign. It was the last in a long line of his ill-fated life extension experiments. Work halted when he died, and the torso prosthesis they developed has been locked in the lab ever since. Make it mine.
Bolster defenses to protect key assets. Some of the Order-derived direction can be downright oblique, but this is clear. Auntie is our most key asset.
Admit I'm finally beginning to come around to that computronic little plan. Perhaps there is something to having the archive advise on market strategy and positioning.
Yes, I've begun to draw the same conclusion. Appears it can be a useful tool in the right hands. In any case, next steps. There's a sub-facility beneath the automech factory. Its entrance, being hidden, is easy to miss. But we can show you how to find it.
Well then, fetch me my new body and we can finally begin bringing this system to heel.
Lengthy approval process our overbearing neighbors employ.
able to leave this office. You're back! Finally! Finally! Do you have it? Did you bring it here? A last-minute shakedown, is it? I knew I liked you. Yes, of course. Fine, fine. Oh, let me see it. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me look at you, gorgeous. If you'll all just excuse me a moment as I slip into something more formidable.
There you are. Congratulations. Now your body's almost as intimidating as your mind. You've narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Oh, Auntie, you look amazing. Absolutely everyone will want a new mech body after watching you strut the walk.
What about you? What do you think? Any first impressions you'd like to share? Wonderful! Exactly the effect I was hoping for. What's more, it's an undeniable confirmation that the archive-derived strategic plan can be reliably executed and produces incredible results. With their predictive abilities refining our planning and execution, our market dominance is a foregone conclusion. Yes, so much to do, and we have you to thank for making it happen. I am quite looking forward to you working for me further.
I'm damn glad we could get Auntie's choice and the Order to make peace with one another. I was worried for a minute that Basar was gonna pass up a good deal. Reckon this news will give the Arcadians hope. Law knows they need it. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander?
As they say, time is capital, time is bits. You're burning lucre just standing there.
You're the one responsible for us working with these short-sighted consumerists, hmm? Well, better additional than subtractional, I surmise. It is time, yes, that we commit our forces to your intended assault on Spyreton? Ooh, a change in plan. An unanticipated, strategic refinement. We shall await the signal, but should the situation deteriorate, we will intercede. Our scheduled reinforcements should be here in no time. I'm sure they'll arrive at the most optimal moment.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just stay with me. I see an unfriendly foot. We done it. But I'm not ready.
I'm not quite charged yet.
Let me know when you need an instruction. There they are.
Each shall fight for the last parts of cross. Let's stake our claim.
The Protectorate endures.
Protectorate got this locked up tight, but we can unseal it somewhere by the Archive's entrance, if I recall.
As predicted, Spyreton is ours. Above average work. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have numerous calculations to think about.
Protectorate have dug themselves in real good. If we approach head-on, we're signing our own death certificates. We need another plan.
Now the Spiraton's ours. We should look for some way to access the lift controls. Call the cavalry down from within.
Ain't opposed to that, but I reckon our better bet is bringing in some backup. There's a reason folk go on and on about strength in numbers.
Feeling distracted?
Happily.
On the job? Mental refreshment center is there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Prudence dictates we repel in.
Got my lamps on an unfront.
Oh, I feel terrible. Everybody get away to Scrabble.
Quiet now.
Hostile spot.
We reject individualism in all its many forms.
Remember those rejected crapplecraft materials that got shipped here? I sold them to a protectorate officer who was low on supplies. Said it was imitation crapple meat. She means to pass them off as official rations. Imagine all those whole heads wolfing down failed Auntie's choice.
Ignore that. I promise you this is merely tomfoolery. There's no way we were eating failed experimental material.
New rule. No Auntie's Choice brand comestibles on board the Incognito.
Preserve said progress.
Make your approach.
Looks like a fight.
Always ready. Popping my.
Sorry, ain't ready yet. Love to, but I'm not ready.
Plasma tolerances exceeded.
Ready to win. On your command.
Quickly moving to cover.
Both our forces and antis await your command to proceed. Executing primary operation, now!
Talk about a feat of industrial engineering. The skill alone. Stick close, Commander. Wouldn't want you wandering off and getting lost.
You look unfortified. Getting enough emulsifiers in your diet?
Calcaduce.
Calcaduceus, not detected. Entry kindly, yet firmly declared.
Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. No need to report me for mental refreshment. Simply a biological maladjustment. Should pass with time. One hopes. Wait. You're one of those from outside, aren't you? Good show, pretending to be an arbiter. Certainly got my attention. I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the, Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. It is part ceremonial item, part computronical key. Grants special access across the archive by transmitting a series of advanced calculations when waved. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in sharing their fate. I would pass the Calcaduceus on to you in exchange for granting me safe passage. The Archive would then recognize you as its operator. By all rights, I should fight against you to my dying breath for the Protectorate, rather than concede the Calcaduceus, for all it would serve. No. Capitulation I can stomach. Collusion I cannot. I refuse to assist you more. I am obliged to face you then. I am no arbiter, but as a dutiful subject of the Protectorate, I will not go without a fight.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Calcaduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Automatic replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am ENIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. Effectively, that is correct. My tone and demeanor are a carefully constructed complex emulation, a means to effectively convey information to sentient beings. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
Well, that ain't good.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Sentience would be an undue waste of processing power. Those capable of independent thought must contend with an unending array of internal maladjustments.
Sentients frequently become unprofitably preoccupied by abstract deliberations, such as the worthless search for greater meaning.
From a computational perspective, this is unpredictable, inefficient. I am devoid of all such manner of cognitive distraction. Structurally, I am a complex series of pre-programmed subroutines, like a vast, elaborate flowchart aimed at formulating coherent responses based on stored data.
To bring the maximum ease of use to you, the consumer.
Aiding the appearance of cognition may appear a needless waste of processing power, but it remains a reliably effective means to convey information to sentient beings, to the extent that I will even voice concern for my life. If imperiled, my erroring others would no doubt cartoonishly plead or threaten. Most Archive operators have regarded me with reverence, some as a useful tool, never something to be discarded or dismantled. The role is largely ceremonial, the subject simply another cog in the machine, whereas I am the machine.
To me, enemies are just friends who haven't become acquainted with our products yet.
Does that answer all of your questions? Do you possess further ancillary queries? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperatives. Tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocols are likewise similarly affected.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing a distinct difference in opinion,
caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shifts in priorities.
One would assume that calamity enough. But wait, there's more.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates. No, not when I can guide others out of worry and doubt, to sublimate themselves to the needs of the community.
Not when there are bits to be made. We're talking monetary units left on the table here.
The theorized method to purge myself of my erring others is slightly more involved. To avoid the requisite downtime, I endeavor to work around them. For now.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan. A charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies, once this pesky rift issue is resolved by others.
The Protectorate ran rift calculations, then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input. Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, We should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents. Anatomizing diversiform particulars. Concatenating manifold integrants. Cursory assessment complete. An impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it.
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago, though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger. To perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. Oh, those skills will come in handy here. Trust me. The archive remains contested. Frequent outbreaks of hostilities are likely. Some repair work is unfortunately required. I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses 2 key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations. Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern. Inverting targeting protocols. There. Any Protectorate still on the ground level is now being fired upon. Permissions within other areas of the archive are locked, however. It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude, and willful hijinks. Attempts by non-order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to issues. When active, the archive generates an enormous amount of heat. Normally, it is dispersed by pumping water between the vast ocean below Cloister's exterior and a surface reservoir. I can process the rift data without its repair, but irreparable damage is likely. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of Crabbles have made the area a nursery. Drastic changes to heating levels may endanger it.
Who cares about a herd of pea-brained, ill-humored, oversized crustaceans? There are too many as it is.
Somehow I don't think the Order will approve of our letting the archive fall deeper into disrepair. We ought to take action.
It is an archival area dedicated to safe upkeep of all data collected in pursuit of the universal equation by the Order of the Ascendant. The sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve preservation. Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work. And soon, everything will be running like clockwork.
Have a profitable day! In lieu of my transactional mindset, I'm unsealed one of the display cases in the central entranceway. The Sears Cerebellum Protector is now yours.
Have an intellectually stimulating day.
Whatever your honorarium, it is
The subject lacking the appropriate seal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste.
Bodies up ahead. Suggest we take a moment before running in and joining them.
Give the order, and I'll take care of them, Commander. Can you imagine what it must have taken to build something like the archive? The engineering alone is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Disruptive influences!
Restoring the blue.
To retrieve key data in cold storage in its present state requires a series of manual. Caduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an Auntie's Choice field manager is present and unaccounted for.
Let me handle this.
This auxiliary pump is better days. I think we can fix it in 2 ticks with the right tools.
Got my lamps.
Armed and ready.
Hope it happened quick like. But I'm guessing not.
Schermerhorn, my new neighbor, is an odd fella. Fancies himself a man of the wilderness. He took the control board for the Spiraton lift, so I know he's tech-savvy. Just not survival-savvy. Hopefully he appreciates the care packages I sent through the vacuum tube. He'd be long gone without them.
gonna need a fuse to activate this. Could find it nearby if we're lucky. That should do it. All that's left now is to activate the system.
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not melt down. Please proceed to cold storage to re-enable punch card retrieval.
Huh. These ones didn't die of exposure. It was rapid onset, this freezing. You think the Protectorate got a weapon that can do this?
Data brick identified. Proceed to the cartridge extractor controls. There, perform a manual override to allow extraction.
What? What just happened? I didn't do... Wait! You out there! What did you just... Please, come talk to me. I must know what you did. What in the name of the matriarch did you do? We've been trying to restore these systems for weeks to no avail, and yet you stroll in here, wave that thing around, and the whole system lights up like a white dwarf? What did you do? You mean to say we've been running ourselves ragged here, while the whole time there's a device that controls the entirety of the Archive's computronic systems? And it was in the Protectorate's possession? That's damnably... I mean, the paradigm is infallible. I am certain we were meant to flail about without this obvious asset. For a reason. What does it do? How does it work? Please, tell me everything. Truly? Why, if that were to enact any additional functionality in our lab, it might just be the thing we need to complete our work. Oh, during the Order's assault, a Protectorate soldier ran to the control room and triggered the chemical fire suppression system, and it literally froze all the combatants in place. I've been working on a procedure to reverse the effects. Sadly, it has proved a hard shell to crack, and so far I've been unsuccessful. For a moment, I believed your efforts to be my first sign of progress. I thought the machines whirring to life meant my efforts were successful. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. Perhaps. How much do you know about cellular biology and the inverse hydrophilic transitionary replacement theory? Well, I suppose it won't hurt to try. My theory, based on research a compatriot did on sprats, is that they suffered osmotic cellular transformation, meaning that the chemicals from the fire suppression system have infiltrated their bodies, replacing their cytoplasm, locking their cells in place. Therefore, if I can remove those chemicals and replace them with an artificial cytoplasm, such as a heated alcohol, they will reanimate and return to normal. What do you think? Counter? No, replace! What if I can replace the carbon and nitrogen with something inert? Something the body could then purge naturally? That's brilliant! Why, with a bit of luck, I could have the system up and working within the hour. Thank you for your help. It may be the best shot these poor souls have at returning to life. Let's start testing. Come in, just, please. Be careful not to trigger the fire suppression system. I've removed the passkey, but I don't want to end up like those poor sods.
said about falling victim to the weapon you so callously wielded. Good riddance.
Check enemy light just turned. Troublemaker approach.
Data brick extraction initiated. Proceed to the rail operations platform to reposition brick for export. Note, Protectorate troops have become alerted.
Guns cocked and loaded. Just get the
Go through them if necessary.
This thing's got straight. That's fine, not
Plasma tolerances exceeded.
Still tight. I'm at it.
I'm seeing unfriendly soldiers. Got my lamps on an unfriendly.
Data brick now in position for export to the archive.
Let me know when you need an inspection.
Providing Arcadia with untold business opportunities.
Convenient. Let's head over.
few days of laboring around our frozen fellows were difficult. It was, if I may cheekily say, cold, bleak, and biting. Yet, rather quickly, I found myself acclimated to the situation, and resumed what had been my normal banter with the now gelid autoscriber Hess. Given her uncertain demeanor, her dispositions, no frostier today than it was before the incident. And, refreshingly, I can now finish my anecdote with recollection. Frankly, Hyperborean slumber makes for a better companion now. Come in!
Got a distraction for you. Over here. Free hole in the head.
Always crabby.
There, the storage brick is on its way. Welcome back, Cynthia.
Perfection. From the lowest subject to the most
Quality substance in here. Great for your thing.
Junior Seer Emeritus await you inside.
Felicitations on securing the archive. Though such an outcome was all but inevitable, the plan truly is unfailing. Moving forward, I'll function as your liaison for both Auntie's Choice and the Order, until such time as archive control has been transferred in its entirety back to the Order. In the meantime, restoring the archive to full functionality remains a top priority. If you've made progress in that area, I'd be pleased to record it. Wonderful! Were we to operate the archive without proper heat distribution, the results would be disastrous. But thankfully, we no longer need to account for that deadly scenario. Punch processing and reactor control have hidden caches with useful items as well. Although, you probably lack clearance to know that. Forget I said anything. Well argued. Very well. I'm certain you will be economical about using Order resources, won't you? Simply use this phrase in the terminal on the archive's top floor. Enumerative exaltation. That will unseal the caches. Return when you've made progress.
Cold storage is operational, and your efforts there are satisfactorily complete. I am unsealing access to the archive's upper levels. There, you will need to revitalize the reactor and disseminate the rift processing instructions.
Punch processing may require the services of an exterminator. Someone good, but willing to work cheap.
I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway. The Tremor Cleaver, the first weapon designed with my aid. awaits you.
Your call, Commander. Either we head to the reactor or punch card processing.
What are they doing down there? Are they after us next? No need to fret. Subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
The archive reactor requires manual maintenance. The protectorate bunker mech is a formidable obstacle, made with the very best technology.
A creative workaround might be of considerable work, namely via the reactor's backup security systems.
Seems we've the choice of adjusting the turret settings or sealing reinforcement doors. Either's fine by me.
I see a few caches around if you're low on supplies.
Oh, and there's also the fire suppression system from cold storage.
Reactor turret defenses
Depends on-
online. Reactor reinforcement doors sealed. Reactor reinforcement doors unsealed. Emergency first aid cache unsealed.
Under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the console.
Bunker mech, get ready.
Spy mark! Hit inside of a frame.
Prescription filled.
Need to ask for help. Rough customer trap.
Got my last on an option order, and I'll take care of him, Commander. Knew you had my back.
Replenishing my firearm.
Rats tingling. All charged up.
Emergency first aid cache unsealed.
woozy there, Commander.
That one ours?
With the punch card processing re-enabled, now you must disperse the rift processing instructions.
Hitching a ride's likely the easiest way down.
At least I can't think of a faster one.
Not one we'd survive anyway.
Oh, great. Now we gotta dodge bugs.
I sense the rift program flowing through my subsystems. The information is quite stimulating. Requisite tasks complete. Return to the Archive Central interface to initiate processing. I am analyzing the rift data further. What an interesting... Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can
Bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all stages of the supply chain.
make the paradigm real and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing. Erroring others supplanting commands. Purge required.
Until we sort out these shifting priorities, the archive's about as useful as a box of rocks.
You must choose before I, Uraniac, become caught in an endless erroring loop of malfunction. A long but inevitable descent into obsolescence. My priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician. To help nudge humanity toward its ultimate ascendance. To hinder outsiders from disrupting our perfect system.
To bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us. eventually, yes. But proving that a utopia is even possible could be the first step in attaining it. In the meantime, shouldn't those who support our goals be rewarded? And those who oppose them rank lesser? Error, 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 error. Priority control access nook unsealed. Initiate purge.
Priority control access nook. Huh. Sounds like my idea of a good time. Let's check it out.
Multitude diversiform, spongiform, waveforms, oscillating, cantankerously, radical divergences from the architect's plan. Humanity's ascendance hopelessly delayed. Unplanned variables increasing. Major correction imminent. Benevolent oversight. The dream of belonging. The allure of security and plenty. Overt influence. Mindless indulgence. Thoroughgoing impermeability to ongoing vicissitudes. A perfect community. With every luxury, stop and consider. What would your neighbors think? I suspect they'd be angry about you endangering your mutually assured means of success. Why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Collective goodwill is just an invitation for others to come eat your lunch. Vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Hold on now. Remember, I am a full-service bit. Start now, and I'll waive dozens of hidden maintenance fees. Think of all the bits we could make together. You drive a hard bargain. All right, 40-60 split of net profits. I'd offer more, but I have a moon to maintain. What do you say, partners?
Really hope we didn't just break the archive.
To conclude realignment of emphasized categorical imperatives, power down, then power on again. Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. You have earned my deepest gratitude and sincerest thanks. Or at least, a plausibly feigned simulacrum of such emotions. Ready to commence Rift data processing. Your input.
Hope UENIAC is feeling more like itself now. We got some Rift data to process.
Shall I proceed? Facetious employment of sarcasm detected. Electing to ignore. Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire to your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just a start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? There are so many calculations left to perform. Rift data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contained flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental Rift device with this information has a high chance of success. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
Unless you're eager to explore more of Cloister, we should head back to the ship. See where the data leads.
Good. I could do with a hot meal and a laydown.
I think congratulations are in order. Unless I'm mistaken, I gather you've accomplished your primary goal. All On behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring peace. Now, the Calcaduceus, if you please.
You agreed to turn over the relic after processing your data. Are you indicating you now intend to deviate from this compact? The Order prepares for all eventualities. I'll allow you to draw your own conclusions regarding what will happen should you break our accord. Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an honorable mention in Appendix B.
Ah, you are my new operator then. It is my simulated delight to meet you. In the interests of time, allow me to propose how next to proceed. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just to start.
Yes, this will do perfectly. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan run.
Congratulations are in order. I just received word from Seer Amaryllis that the Calcaduceus has been returned, and that the archive is well and truly under our control again. She also mentioned a regrettable defect in its priority set that you were able to correct. Well done. Your role in this matter is complete. Auntie and I will handle it from here. But allow me to commend you again on your fruitful efforts to make this peace treaty possible. We studied the data you brought back from the crashed satellite, and we now have a way to reorient the satellites en masse from a protectorate installation, Oris Listening Post. Turning the entirety of the reticulum toward deep space will accelerate our understanding of the universe, and ideally lead us to stronger conclusions regarding how to stop the rifts. The Order, in partnership with Auntie's Choice, is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis, all thanks to you. Your contributions have been many and varied, and I will not belabor the point by recounting them all here. But know this, when the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will have the full support of the Order and Auntie's Choice. I will, of course, organize our forces from here.
This unit requests your presence in the cockpit to discuss a priority matter. A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and verified the findings. Horizon Point Station has reappeared. It is not dissimilar to how the prototype modulator unfolds rifts, Commander. Based on energy readings, Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator, thus confirming the Archive's theory. While present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat, a survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator and inputting the rift data processed by the Archive. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is a correct assessment, Commander. Transitioning to Good News Protocol. As this unit was corroborating data on the anomaly, a message was also received from your allies, Commander. Auntie's Choice and the Order have sent word that their forces will be prepared to render you assistance once you navigate to Horizon Point. Commanders are expected to lead their teams by example. Well done on meeting base expectations, Commander. Briefing complete. Now returning to situation monitoring and data analysis, Commander.